battery out of it, and we think the reason why this car don't start is something to do with this in the hybrid battery.
The story of Mat Armstrong is one of those rare journeys that feels almost unbelievable when you look at where it started and where it has reached. At just 32 years old, he has built a life that many people only dream about, turning broken, damaged, and written-off cars into stunning machines watched by millions of people around the world. What makes his story powerful is not just the cars or the money or the views. It is the path he took to get there. Mat did not begin as a car expert or a famous content creator. He started as a young guy in Leicester, England, who loved BMX riding more than anything else. As a teenager, BMX was not just a hobby for him. It was his entire life. He trained hard, competed in different countries, and even got sponsorship from a brand that helped cover his travel costs. He was not making big money, but he was doing what he loved, and that mattered more to him at the time. Alongside BMX, he also started filming videos, mostly because he needed to send clips to sponsors and show his progress. That small habit of recording his life would later become the foundation of his entire career. Even though he had no idea at the time, everything seemed to be going in the right direction until one moment changed everything. During a competition in Germany, he attempted a difficult trick and dislocated his shoulder. At first, it seemed like a normal injury, something that would heal with time, but it did not go that way. His shoulder became unstable and started dislocating randomly, even while he was sleeping. For someone whose sport depends on full physical control and confidence, this was a disaster. It meant he could no longer trust his body, and without that trust, BMX was no longer possible. Just like that, his career ended. He was still young, with no clear plan for the future, and suddenly he had to rebuild his life from nothing. This moment, painful as it was, became the turning point that pushed him toward a completely different path, one that would eventually make him one of the most recognized automotive creators in the world. After his BMX career ended, life did not suddenly get better for Mat Armstrong. In fact, it became much harder. He had no stable career, no strong financial support, and no clear direction. Like many young people in similar situations, he had to take whatever work he could find just to survive. He worked at different places, including bike shops and car part stores, and even spent evenings working in a restaurant to pay his bills. These were not glamorous jobs, and they did not offer any long-term security, but they kept him going during a very uncertain time in his life. At the same time, he was still trying to figure out what he really wanted to do. One thing that remained constant during this period was his connection to cars. Growing up, he had spent a lot of time in the garage with his father, Tony, who was a mechanic. Without even realizing it, Mat had learned a lot just by watching and helping. Now, during his free time, he started working on cars himself, experimenting, making mistakes, and learning as he went. He did not have formal training or professional qualifications, but he had curiosity and determination, and that was enough to keep him moving forward. He also continued uploading videos on YouTube, but at this stage, the channel had no clear direction. Sometimes he posted BMX content, sometimes car-related clips, but nothing was really taking off. It was a slow and frustrating process, and there were many moments when it probably felt like nothing was working. Despite this, he kept going. He worked long hours, sometimes up to 12 or 13 hours a day, balancing jobs and trying to build something on the side. These years are often not talked about as much because they're not exciting or dramatic, but they are very important. They show the reality behind success, the part where nothing is guaranteed, and everything depends on how long you can keep pushing without seeing results. For Mat, this period built the foundation of his future success, even though at the time it just felt like survival. The moment that truly changed everything for Mat Armstrong did not come from a big plan or a smart business decision. It came from an accident. His partner, Hannah, crashed her Audi TT, and the car was badly damaged. Normally, that would have been the end of the story, with the insurance company writing off the car and moving on. But Mat saw an opportunity where others saw a loss. He bought the damaged car back for a small amount of money and decided to fix it himself while recording the entire process. At the time, he was using simple equipment like a GoPro, and he had no idea that this project would change his life. What made these videos special was their honesty. He was not pretending to be an expert or hiding mistakes. Instead, He showed everything: the problems, the confusion, the trial and error. Viewers connected with his real approach because it felt different from the polished and scripted content they were used to seeing. People enjoyed watching someone learn and improve in real time. The Audi TT Rebuild series started gaining attention, and slowly, his channel began to grow. This was the first time he found a format that truly worked. He continued with more projects, each one slightly bigger and more challenging than the last. As his skills improved, so did the quality of his content. He became more confident not only in fixing cars, but also in telling stories through his videos. This combination of mechanical work and storytelling became his signature style. It was not just about rebuilding cars. It was about taking viewers on a journey. This shift marked the beginning of his rise on YouTube. What started as a simple decision to fix a crashed car turned into the foundation of a career that would eventually reach millions of people worldwide. As Mat Armstrong's channel continued to grow, one project in particular played a major role in taking him to the next level. During the global pandemic, he decided to buy a damaged Bentley Continental GT. This was a much bigger risk compared to his previous projects because it required a significant amount of money, especially considering his financial situation at the time. He spent around £10,000 to buy the car and then invested even more to repair it. The project was long, detailed, and challenging, but it captured the attention of a much larger audience. For the first time, his work started getting recognition beyond his existing viewers. The Bentley rebuild not only increased his popularity, but also helped him secure his first major sponsorship deal, turning his passion into a real business. Around this time, he made one of the most important decisions of his life. He chose to go full-time on YouTube. This was a risky move because it meant leaving stable jobs and relying entirely on his content for income. Many people would have chosen the safer option, but Mat believed in what he was building. That belief paid off. His channel grew rapidly, and he started working on even more ambitious projects. His reputation as someone who could take on difficult builds and succeed began to spread. His content was no longer just about fixing cars. It was about proving what was possible with determination and creativity. This period marked a transition from a struggling creator to a recognized name in the automotive world, setting the stage for even bigger projects in the future. One of the most famous and talked about projects in Mat Armstrong's career involved a car connected to Marcus Rashford. The Rolls-Royce Wraith, which had been modified by Mansory, was involved in an accident and written off by insurance. Mat bought the damaged car for a large amount of money and began the process of rebuilding it. However, this project was far more complicated than it first appeared. The damage was severe, the parts were expensive, and there were technical challenges that made the rebuild extremely difficult. At one point, he even had to buy another Rolls-Royce as a donor car just to get the parts he needed. Despite these challenges, he continued working on the project, documenting every step. What made this story even more interesting was the involvement of the car's previous owner's team, who supported the rebuild by providing parts and information. The project gained massive attention online, and it became one of the most successful series on his channel. It showed not only his technical skills, but also his ability to handle high-pressure situations and large investments. By the end of the rebuild, he had spent hundreds of thousands of pounds, but the result was worth it. The car was back on the road, and the journey had attracted millions of viewers. This project helped establish him as a global figure in automotive content, proving that he could handle some of the most complex and expensive rebuilds in the world. Perhaps the most controversial and ambitious project of Mat Armstrong's career is his work on a Bugatti Chiron Per Sport. This project brought him into direct attention with Bugatti and even its leadership. The car had been severely damaged, and when the owner decided to rebuild outside of official channels, the manufacturer refused to supply parts and effectively blocked the process. This created a major challenge because without access to official parts, repairing such a complex hypercar seemed almost impossible. However, Mat did not give up. He used advanced techniques like 3D scanning and custom manufacturing to create replacement parts and continued working on the car despite the obstacles. The situation gained global attention when the CEO of Bugatti publicly responded to the project, explaining the company's concerns about safety and proper repair standards. This turned the rebuild into more than just a YouTube project. It became part of a larger discussion about ownership and the right to repair. Despite the challenges, Matt continued making progress, and the moment the car started again after the rebuild became one of the most memorable moments in his content. Today, his channel has millions of subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. What he has built goes beyond numbers. It is a story of resilience, learning, and taking risks. From a young BMX rider whose career ended suddenly to a global automotive creator working on multi-million-dollar cars, Mat Armstrong's journey shows what is possible when someone refuses to give up and keeps pushing forward. No matter how difficult the path may seem, Mat Armstrong's reputation continued to grow. The scale of his projects and the expectations from his audience also increased. What started as simple rebuilds of affordable cars slowly turned into high-risk, high-reward challenges involving some of the most expensive vehicles in the world. But what truly separates Mat Armstrong from many other creators is not just the cars he works on. It is the way he approaches problems. He does not rely on expensive tools alone or a large team of experts. Instead, he often works things out step by step, showing viewers exactly how he thinks through each issue. This problem-solving mindset has become one of the most engaging parts of his content. When something goes wrong, he does not hide it. He explains it, tests different solutions, and eventually finds a way forward. This creates a sense of tension and excitement in his videos, almost like watching a real-life puzzle being solved. Over time, his workshop has evolved from a small garage setup into a more advanced space with better tools and equipment. But the core approach remains the same. He is still the same person experimenting, learning, and improving with every project. His audience appreciates this because it feels genuine. In a world where many creators present perfect results, Matt shows the messy process behind those results. This honesty builds trust, and that trust keeps viewers coming back. As his projects became more complex, he also started collaborating with specialists when needed, whether for custom fabrication, painting, or advanced diagnostics. However, he never lost control of the project itself. He remains deeply involved in every step, which is why his content still feels personal despite its growing scale. This balance between growth and authenticity is one of the key reasons his channel continues to succeed even as it becomes more professional. Another important part of Mat Armstrong's journey is the role of the people around him, especially his family and close relationships. His father, Tony, has been a major influence on his life and career. Long before YouTube's success, Tony was working as a mechanic, and Matt spent countless hours watching and learning from him in the garage. Those early experiences built a strong foundation of practical knowledge that later became essential in his rebuild projects. Even today, Tony still appears in many videos, helping solve complex problems and offering advice based on years of experience. Their relationship adds an emotional layer to the content that goes beyond cars. Viewers are not just watching repairs. They are watching a father and son working together, sharing knowledge, and building something meaningful. This dynamic creates a strong connection with the audience because it feels real and relatable. In addition to his father, his partner Hannah has also played a significant role in his journey. She has been there from the early days and has supported the growth of the channel while also building her own presence online. Their partnership is not just personal but also professional, as they work together on different aspects of content creation and business decisions. Even small details, like their dog appearing in videos, add personality and warmth to the channel. These elements might seem minor, but they help create a sense of community around the content. People do not just follow the projects. They follow the people behind them. This human connection is a powerful factor in long-term success on platforms like YouTube. It turns viewers into loyal followers who feel invested in the journey, not just the outcome of each build. As the channel grew larger, so did the impact of Mat Armstrong's work on the wider automotive world. His projects are no longer just entertainment. They are influencing how people think about cars, ownership, and repair. Traditionally, high-end car manufacturers have maintained strict control over how their vehicles are repaired, often limiting access to parts and information. This creates a situation where only authorized dealers can perform certain repairs, which can be extremely expensive. Through his projects, especially those involving high-value cars, Matt has challenged the system in a very public way. By showing that complex vehicles can be repaired outside official networks, he has started conversations about fairness, accessibility, and the rights of car owners. His work has highlighted the gap between manufacturer control and independent repair efforts. This is particularly important in a time when technology is becoming more advanced, and cars are increasingly dependent on software and specialized components. While manufacturers argue that strict control ensures safety and quality, independent creators like Matt show that innovation and creativity can also achieve impressive results. This tension between control and freedom is becoming a key topic in the automotive industry, and his content sits right in the middle of that discussion. By documenting every step of his process, he provides transparency that is often missing in traditional repair systems. Viewers can see exactly what goes into fixing a car, how problems are solved, and what challenges arise along the way. This level of openness not only educates people, but also empowers them to think differently about what is possible. Looking at the numbers behind Mat Armstrong's success, it becomes clear just how far he has come. His YouTube channel, which started as a small platform for sharing BMX videos, has grown into a massive global presence with millions of subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. Each new project attracts a large audience, and many of his videos reach millions of views within a short period of time. These numbers represent more than just popularity. They show the level of interest and engagement his content generates. Behind those views is a business that includes advertising revenue, sponsorship deals, merchandise, and other income streams. While exact figures can vary, it is clear that his work has become financially successful as well as creatively fulfilling. However, what makes his story interesting is not just the money or the fame. It is the way he built everything from the ground up without a clear roadmap. He did not follow a traditional career path or rely on formal education in the automotive field. Instead, he learned through experience, experimentation, and persistence. This approach makes his journey relatable to many people who feel uncertain about their own paths. It shows that success does not always come from following a fixed plan. Sometimes it comes from trying different things, making mistakes, and slowly improving over time. His ability to turn a passion into a career is something that inspires many viewers, especially those who are interested in cars, content creation, or both. It demonstrates that with the right mindset and enough effort, it is possible to create opportunities even in uncertain situations. One of the most important aspects of Mat Armstrong's work is the way he combines technical skill with storytelling. Many people can fix cars, and many people can create videos, but combining these two skills effectively is what sets him apart. Each project is presented as a journey with a beginning, middle, and end. There is always a clear problem, a series of challenges, and a final result. This structure keeps viewers engaged because it creates a sense of progression. They want to see what happens next, how problems are solved, and whether the project will succeed. The way he explains things is also important. He uses simple language and avoids overly complex terms, making his content accessible to a wide audience. Even people who know very little about cars can understand what is happening and enjoy the process. This ability to communicate clearly is a key part of his success. It allows him to reach viewers from different backgrounds and skill levels. At the same time, he does not oversimplify the work. He still shows the real challenges and the effort required to complete each project. This balance between simplicity and depth makes his content both educational and entertaining. Over time, he has also improved his production quality, using better cameras, editing techniques, and storytelling methods. However, he has managed to do this without losing the authenticity that made his channel popular in the first place. This combination of growth and consistency is difficult to achieve, but is one of the reasons his content continues to perform well. When you look at the full picture of Mat Armstrong's journey, it becomes clear that his success is not the result of one single moment or one lucky break. Instead, it is a result of many small decisions, consistent effort, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. From his early days as a BMX rider to his current status as a global automotive creator, each stage of his life has contributed to where he is now. The injury that ended his BMX career, while difficult at the time, pushed him toward a new path. The years of working multiple jobs taught him discipline and resilience. The decision to rebuild a crashed car and share it online opened the door to a completely new career. Each challenge became an opportunity, even when it did not seem like one at first. Today, his work continues to evolve as he takes on new projects and explores new ideas. The automotive world is changing, and so is the way content is created and consumed. By staying flexible and open to new possibilities, he has positioned himself to continue growing in the future. His story serves as a reminder that success is not always straightforward. It often involves setbacks, uncertainty, and hard work. But for those who are willing to keep going and learn from their experiences, it is possible to achieve something meaningful. Mat Armstrong's journey is a clear example of how passion, persistence, and creativity can come together to create something truly remarkable. As Mat Armstrong continues to push forward in his career, one thing becomes very clear. He is not someone who is satisfied with staying at the same level. Every time it seems like he has reached a peak, he finds a way to go even further. This mindset is what keeps his content fresh and exciting. Instead of repeating the same type of rebuilds, he constantly looks for projects that are more complex, more risky, and more interesting for his audience. This is not easy, especially when the stakes are so high. Working on expensive cars means that mistakes can cost thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of pounds. But this risk is also what makes his content so engaging. Viewers know that what they are watching is real and that there is always something on the line. This creates a level of excitement that is hard to replicate. At the same time, Matt has become more strategic in how he chooses his projects. He understands what his audience enjoys and looks for builds that will not only challenge him but also capture attention. This balance between passion and strategy is important for long-term success. It shows that while he started by following his interests, he has learned how to turn those interests into a sustainable career. As his channel grows, he also faces new challenges, such as maintaining quality, managing a team, and handling the pressure of constant expectations. However, these challenges are a natural part of growth, and they reflect how far he has come from his early days of filming with a simple camera. His journey is no longer just about rebuilding cars. It is about building a brand and maintaining it over time. The influence of Mat Armstrong is also becoming more visible beyond YouTube itself. His work is being noticed by major figures and companies within the automotive industry, which shows how much impact he has had. When high-level individuals, including executives and well-known personalities, start paying attention to a content creator, it means that the creator is shaping conversations in a meaningful way. This is especially true in the case of controversial projects that challenge traditional systems. By taking on difficult builds and sharing the process publicly, Matt has created a platform where important topics can be discussed openly. These topics include repair rights, access to parts, and the balance between safety and independence. His videos are not just watched by fans. They are also watched by professionals who are part of the industry. This creates a unique situation where entertainment, education, and real-world impact come together. It is rare for a YouTube channel to reach this level of influence, but Matt has managed to do it by staying consistent and authentic. He does not try to present himself as someone who knows everything. Instead, he shows his learning process, which makes his content more relatable and trustworthy. This approach has helped him build a strong reputation, not only as a creator, but also as someone who is genuinely passionate about what he does. As a result, his influence is likely to continue growing, especially as more people become interested in how cars are built, repaired, and modified. Another key factor behind Mat Armstrong's success is his ability to connect with a global audience. Even though he started in a small garage in Leicester, his content now reaches viewers from all over the world. This is possible because the themes in his videos are universal. People everywhere understand the idea of fixing something that is broken.